Let's face it, we all know the power of habits and how important they are, especially for our health. But what if these habits that we've adopted the past few years are compounding in the opposite direction of our desired healthy life? What if many of us are feeling stuck because our life is built around habits that make us feel normal, responsible, even healthy, but are quietly, silently working against us? And you know what the scary part is? These type of habits are not the obvious bad habits that we all hear. I'm literally talking about the healthy habits that we add to our vision board every year because someone on a podcast has repeatedly told us over and over again that this will help us become healthier. But yet again, we find ourselves at the start of every year back to where we started and wondering what we did wrong. Trust me, as a woman in my 30s, been there and done that. In today's video, I'm going to challenge every belief that you may have behind 7 healthy habits we believe to be true. Not to make you do more, but to finally help you move in the direction that you've been trying to get to all along. If you're new here, hi there, I'm Samira. Welcome to my channel. I talk about feminine energy, mindset, and rebuilding your life in a way that works for us women without burnout or extremes. So if you're drawn to just changing your life and honestly just slowing down, I would love for you to stick around and subscribe. And real quick before we dive in, if you're tired of hustling and have this strong calling to just slow down in life, I created a free 7-day Soft Life Challenge workbook. It's a simple yet powerful way to shift your habits and energy in alignment with the woman you deserve to become. You can easily find it in the link below. So, these habits are not obvious. They're pretty normal. They're pretty been preached about for years and years, but this is what makes them very dangerous for us. Now, I will disclose this may have worked for you in the past and they have served me well in the past temporarily. But if you've been finding yourself feeling like you're doing all the right things but not achieving the desired results, this may be time to pivot. A lot of these habits may have worked for you in a different stage of your life, especially if you're a younger woman, and are habits that could be working really well for men. I need to point that out. But as women, we need to start paying attention to what works for our bodies. Habit number 1, hit workouts. Now, this is something that we've been taught as a healthy habit in terms of being efficient, getting us fast results, and helping us lose weight. All of my 20s, I had been doing hit workouts a lot. However, I'm starting to realize the negative effects it's starting to have on my body and why I just hit like a plateau. And why do we love these so much and why do we believe it? From a logical perspective, this looked like something that did help you get stronger. It was an hour of intensity of just pushing yourself to your hardest and sweating and loud music and just killing yourself for the hour and realizing you've burned like 500 calories and you're just like, whoa, this is the best thing for me, as hard as it is. This is it. This is going to help me get stronger. Now, why does this type of workout work against you as a woman? It has been proven that the woman's stress hormone, cortisol, rises higher and stays elevated for a longer time. Pretty much, this type of workout leads you to stress mode. This has been proven to lead to burnout, poor sleep, increased cravings, stalled fat loss. I used to think HIIT was the most efficient way to work out because I felt productive. I was sweating, my heart rate was up, I was burning the most calories, and I could just justify eating more afterwards. Plus, every popular class at the gym looked like this, whether it was an hour of cycling, Orange Theory, circuit training. It was a go to for a lot of women, so I just assumed this is what real workouts was supposed to look like. In my experience, the HIIT workouts were starting to inflame me. I never reached my desired goals. And with HIIT workouts, it just made me so tired because I had to commit to a full hour to do this full workout. And I remember getting so exhausted afterwards for the rest of the day that I didn't have any energy for any other mundane activity. And I was ravishing for food. I was just starving because I had burned so many calories at once until I started realizing that these workouts are not working for me. They're working against me. So if you think you've been a victim of high intensity workouts and could be the potential reason why you're not hitting your desired results, it's time to pivot. Now, a better approach, and you can keep this simple, is have mixed weekly workouts. It's important to prioritize strength training or something like Pilates or yoga that's low intensity. The goal is to train with your body, not against it. It's really funny because when I switched to just 30 minutes of strength training, my brain kept telling me that this wasn't enough, simply because it felt too easy, too convenient, and I wasn't sweating and killing myself. It was crazy how that high intensity conditioning had really got to me. And something like low intensity of strength training, it doesn't give you that hit of adrenaline. However, it does help you build muscle, lower stress, and actually support your hormones. So I dropped all HIIT workouts and just pivoted towards strength training and just low intensity like walking and Pilates or yoga. Before I knew it, I was building muscle, my stress levels were low. I actually was doing something that was supporting my hormones. And ironically, once I started doing less intensity and just more strength, that is when my energy improved and my body started finally responding. And that's what healthy looks like to me. So drop the habit of high intensity, hour long, crazy pushing, sweating, losing 500 calories habit and commit to something simple that you can do. Instead, adopt the habit of low intensity, which will not stress you out. You find yourself showing up for it more often and help you achieve those healthy habits like building more muscle and having more energy and just feeling good. Healthy habit number 2, skipping breakfast. Now I'm talking to the girlies that are all about intermittent fasting. I just have coffee for breakfast, cutting carbs. That's not a healthy habit. It's working against you. So, this whole notion of skipping breakfast or practicing intermittent fasting and just eating less is really working against us. A lot of us, including me, believe that this was the most efficient way to start our day. It was a sign of discipline and great for weight loss. There were many, many times where we would go out to like a family gathering, like at a cottage. Everyone would wake up, have a big breakfast, and I would just sit back and like, sorry guys, I don't eat breakfast. I just have a cup of coffee. And I thought I was this healthy, like I know what I was doing kind of thing, but it wasn't good for me at all. Now, why is this healthy habit not good for us? For many women, especially as you get older, you're pretty much under fueling yourself. So, this in itself, your body just adapts and raises stress levels, disrupt hormones, and leads to cravings and energy crashes later. So, believing that this is a healthy habit for you is not necessarily the case, and you need to start your morning with a high, nourishing breakfast. You need to nourish your body early so your energy and focus and metabolism can work for you. So, the way I adopted this habit, and this may be how you adopted this, skipping breakfast habit, is, possibly because of intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting was on the rise of, telling everyone that if you want to be in a calorie deficit and eat less calories, you should try skipping breakfast or just, adjusting your eating window. And a lot of men out there would start their day with not fasting and then going on to working out at the fasted workout, which works really well for them. However, for us women, we are really different in terms of hormones and our different stages. And as a woman that I'm a mother, I have a little boy, I've gone through pregnancy, I've gone through breastfeeding stage and healing my body afterwards. I'm just realizing how much food is important and skipping breakfast worked against me. And the thing about habits is that it's so hard to break because for a long time I would skip breakfast and just have coffee. And then I was like, okay, maybe I should eat something. Like my body intuitive was like, you need to eat something with your coffee. I would have a banana with coffee. And then over time, let's say I was breastfeeding, I was like, maybe I should be eating more. So I would have a butter croissant, banana, and a coffee. And I was like, okay, this is my breakfast. And literally this hours after I had waken up, still, this is me thinking I'm having breakfast. This is the power of habits and how this could be working against you. Now I'm realizing how even the croissant is working against me, and I need to have a full, nourishing, high protein breakfast. And it's so hard for me to do. Like, I wake up and I'm not feeling hungry whatsoever. My body's like, wait a second, we've adapted to not eating. You want to eat 3 eggs with bread and avocado? Like, you never ate this much in the morning. And I was struggling eating in the morning just because I simply was not hungry. And sometimes we believe that not being hungry in the morning is just intuition, but it's often that my body has learned to survive and adapt on no breakfast. So when women usually say I'm not hungry in the morning, it's not a preference, it's an adaptation. And this could be said for a lot of women that have 9 to 5 jobs. If you're a working mom, like, you just don't have time to wake up and have a nourishing meal. So you've just adapted to skip breakfast. But if you are really serious about becoming healthier, it's really important to prioritize having a nourishing breakfast in the morning, even if you're not hungry. Think of it as just fueling your body, even if you don't feel hungry, for the rest of the day. Now I've adopted this new habit and I've been doing that the past few months. I find myself more energetic. I don't have the craving for a second coffee. I don't find myself, looking for more carbs as an afternoon snack. And it's honestly been making me feel a lot calmer, energetic, and I feel a lot stronger during my workouts. So, just this one habit of eating a breakfast and no longer skipping a breakfast has done wonders for me. Healthy habit number 3, waking up early. Now, you may be wondering, how on earth is waking up early not good for your health? So, a lot of us have been taught that waking up early is seen as discipline. In hustle culture, this is like something that you have to do if you want to hustle. And just it's been a general knowledge that successful people wake up early. We've been hearing that a lot. And I too have made a YouTube video in the past of waking up 5 a.m. every day and just showing how productive I am just by waking up that early. So, why could this habit be holding you back? When I wanted to commit to a 5 a.m. morning routine and I couldn't do it, I would always kind of shame myself like, Mira, why can't you just wake up early? Why aren't you disciplined enough? And it was a big reason why it held me back. Forcing early mornings without adequate rest can increase fatigue, stress, and resentment, not momentum. And I want to reframe this for a lot of women that you want to build routines not based off of your ego of just wanting to be more productive and more disciplined. I want you to build routines that go based off your energy. A rested body moves faster than a forced schedule. There has been a lot of studies out there, and we can say from experience too that women need more sleep. We have different cortisol rhythms than men. Forced early wake ups can cause anxiety, irritability, energy crashes, and burnout. The better approach is to wake up at a time. We're all different people out here that supports your rhythm. I really want to reframe the belief that productivity improves when you're well rested. Women generally need more sleep than men because our hormones and nervous systems are more sensitive to stress and sleep loss. Sleep isn't just rest for women, it's regulation. The forced 5 a.m. mornings can backfire when they don't match your body's rhythm. Your cortisol rises too fast, your anxiety increases, energy crashes later on, and over time that leads to burnout, not productivity. If you wake up early every day, but you still find yourself needing 2 coffees a day, talking to myself here because I was there, been there, done that, it's a sure sign that you do not need to be waking up early and you need more rest. And to be very clear, I am a woman, I am a mother. We all don't have a choice sometimes about waking up early. You may have a job that starts early, we may have children, and that's a given. Some of us have jobs, some of us have kids, some of us want to wake up for prayer, some of us have only that time for me time. But the issue isn't just waking up that early, it's forcing a routine that your body cannot recover from. Well, so when our women are well rested, they're naturally more focused, more productive, and more grounded. Sleep does not make you lazy, it's strategic. So if you find yourself needing to sleep in, especially during that time of the month, rest. If you find yourself operating better at 7 a.m. more than 5 a.m., please do that. You will not get a medal for waking up early if you're tired and exhausted the rest of the day. Just want to end it on that. Healthy habit number 4, tracking and optimizing everything. Now, I'm talking about counting calories, I'm talking about counting steps, I'm talking about even going as far as tracking your sleep, tracking how much protein you're taking, tracking. There's just so much to track now that this is working against you. I get it. A lot of people, when you start working on a health journey, you need to get data. Let's say you're working with a trainer, you're working to find where your flaws are. However, if you're really spending a lot of time in trying to count everything, this is working against you and honestly causing a lot of anxiety as a woman. A true healthy habit is not managing numbers, but instead listening to your body. And I get it, the tracking gives you awareness, and awareness leads to control and growth. But if it gets to the point where you see yourself, let's say your watch runs out of charge, you don't find yourself walking as much because it's like, hey, if I can't track my steps, why would I walk? That all or nothing approach that comes from tracking can really hurt you. And then let's say some days you forget to track your calories, and that can be pretty unhealthy. When you find yourself constantly reading nutrition labels and constantly trying to do the math, when you should just go out to dinner and just enjoy the time with your friends or with your family. And if you go over and I don't know, it's just, it can get out of hand and it can be very stressful and honestly work against you. That anxiety that comes from making sure that the numbers are aligned to what you've, promised yourself to can really just work against you. And what I'm trying to say as women, the most important thing you could do is to just listen to your body. I know there's a lot of gadgets out there and it's so tempting to think that if I get this new gadget and if I track the numbers, I will know where I'm going wrong. Let's say you are tracking the numbers and you don't reach that desired number that specific day, and you don't reach that specific number during that day. And I'm speaking to myself because I was the type to literally write down everything as I'm trying to optimize and track everything. I found myself really disappointed in myself if I didn't reach the exact walking step number. The most toxic habit that you could do, which I know is good for data in the beginning of a health journey, is weighing yourself every day. And as a woman, our weight will constantly fluctuate, especially as we learn more about our cycles and how it goes ups and down, water retention, hormone imbalances, how we eat. There's so many factors, but if you were to rely on the scale number and tracking that and trying to optimize it, you can really, I wouldn't believe you if you were to say that it doesn't bother you. Like, we all step on a scale with hopes of it going down, you know? Like, there's a reason why there's a lot of studies about anxiety being attached to a scale. I really do feel like tracking and optimizing that can cause more anxiety and stress. And it's a habit that you need to drop and just start listening to your body and just try to show up more for yourself. That's something I recommend and a healthy habit that you need to replace with. So, a question that I want you to ask yourself is that, is this whole tracking really actually helping me, or is it just stressing me out? And if that's your answer, that's a healthy habit to replace with something else. Now, this is going to be a general statement, but I'll go more into depth about what I mean by this. Healthy habit number 5 is eating the same thing every day. Why is this praised? This could be a sign of your consistency, which means that you'll get your desired results, and sometimes variety feels risky. Now, there's a lot of reasons why this could be holding you back. A lot. I'll start with number 1. Most importantly, which has been a common theme in this entire video, is that women do not operate like men. We follow a 28-day cycle and they follow a 24-hour cycle. We're cyclical. During our 28-day menstrual cycle, women experience changes in metabolism, insulin sensitivity, appetite, body temperature, digestion, the whole 9 yards. If you eat the same way every day, you ignore these shifts. For example, in luteal phase, which is the week before you start your period, women often need more calories and carbs. If you were to force the same light meals every day that you've prepped from meal prepping, you can increase cravings, fatigue, and irritability. And that's the last thing we need as women, is to just be irritated, right? And this isn't a lack of discipline. This is your biology being ignored. Another reason. Reason number 2, seasonality matters. Your body feels it. This could mean cold smoothies in the winter time just to get that extra protein, raw salads all year round because like salads are good for you, and just like same foods every day that you see at the grocery store, and you're not focused on what's, out that season. So when you eat within season, this really helps with digestion, hormonal balance, and energy regulation. Cold raw foods are harder to digest sometimes, especially with women that are already dealing with stress or fatigue. Now, I personally have been really drawn to Chinese medicine. I've kind of seen the cons of Western medicine in my own personal life. And I also feel like there's some ancient wisdom and with my background, and with my ethnicity being Afghan and stuff that I've been taught by my family, I do think there's some wisdom behind a lot of the stuff that Chinese medicine preach that other countries in the East have also adopted. You don't have to believe in Chinese medicine, but this is one of the reasons why you could be feeling bloated and tired even though you're having the healthy smoothie and the healthy raw salad. So in traditional Chinese medicine, digestion is associated with warmth. Cold foods are believed to weaken digestive energy. The raw salads that you have in the wintertime, for example, and the cold smoothies, they don't provide grounding energy. They can spike your blood sugar without making you feel full, and they often lack warmth and intensity. So these healthy foods are not necessarily bad for you. They're just not meant to be eaten all the time, which is why I'm saying drop the habit of eating the same thing every day. I really do recommend following your cycle and being in tune with your body in terms of what to eat each week. There's an abundance of apps out there. One that I really like is called 28 Wellness, where as you track your cycle, it tells you this week, because of your hormones, like because your body's going through this, here's what you should be eating to help you feel good, feel healthy. That's the goal, right? Long story short, your body doesn't need discipline, it needs responsiveness. Healthy habit number 7, pushing through exhaustion. Now, I blame hustle culture because of this. I have burned myself out many times, and a big reason why I'm starting this channel and talking to women like me is like, hey, we need to slow the heck down. We all have this healthy belief about pushing through exhaustion, thinking that discipline means showing up no matter what. But why is this holding you back? Ignoring your exhaustion is ignoring what your body's trying to tell you. Fatigue is information, not a flaw. And what does this look like? I'll share my personal experience. I would be working a full day at work and then coming home feeling exhausted and realizing I still need to hit the 3,000 steps to hit my 10K step goal. As tired as I was, I would immediately go on the walking pad and try to get the 3,000 steps, then tiredly go to sleep. This was not helping me. This was me thinking I'm being disciplined, and pushing through the exhaustion, but in contrast, I was actually just hurting my body and being more exhausted. Another example is like there would be a week where I would commit to waking up at 5 a.m. to be productive. And I would have nights where my son would get sick or he would wake up multiple times. As a mother, we all have been through this. And instead of giving myself a pass of the fact that, like, my son woke me up a few times, it's okay. If I don't wake up at 5 a.m., I'll do it the following day. I would push through the exhaustion and still wake up in the morning because I was disciplined and I was hitting thing. Instead, I made myself more tired and exhausted and irritable the rest of the day. Examples of this, of like pushing through exhaustion, kept my cortisol high. My hormones became disrupted, and instead of progressing, my body went into survival mode. And this is a topic worth mentioning is that rest can be perceived shameful when you want to be productive. And we do tend to tie productivity to our self worth because busy looks responsible, rest looks lazy. And for women who are used to being dependable, slowing down can feel uncomfortable and even unsafe. And when rest is allowed, it doesn't disappear. It shows up as burnout, anxiety, and health issues. So, if you have this habit of pushing through exhaustion, you really do need to reframe how you think about this. And if this is a habit that you have, and you're wondering how to reframe this way of thinking, I have this workbook right here. This will help guide you in terms of how to slow down and reframe your way of thinking and not thinking rest as being shameful. And most importantly, not think about pushing through exhaustion as a healthy habit. And lastly, healthy habit number 7, chasing wellness trends. I'm guilty of this. We all may have this healthy belief that this new tool, new protocol, will reset and fix everything. But why are these new wellness tools could be holding you back? Here's the truth. Nothing sticks without identity change. These trends can create the motion, like get you started to be healthy, but it's not going to transform you. Let's say you're looking at the red light and you've heard that this is really good for your skin and for your hair. What's happening internally? What's causing you to lose your hair? You need to figure out the cause. Let's say you need massages. It's a healthy habit every week. Why do you need a massage every week? What's creating that tension? Is it your job? Is it your lifestyle? Why do you feel so tense to need a massage every week? If your nervous system is dysregulated and you've adopted somatic exercises, ask yourself, what kind of environment are you living in every day? The problem is not the tools. I have these tools. I've used them and they work. However, the habit of thinking that this is going to fix everything, that's what I want you to fix. They pull attention from the root cause. It's funny, I've been bombarded by AG1 ads for the green powder smoothies. And this is another wellness tool that you might be thinking, hey, let me spend the money, buy this green powder, and hopefully this will transform everything. That is a healthy habit that's actually not fixing the root cause. If you're constantly needing something to feel okay, it's worth asking, why? When wellness becomes constant fixing, it pulls away from the real work. It's worth revisiting our basics, managing stress, setting boundaries, and actually taking breaks. You want tools that support a healthy life, not compensate for a misaligned one. Now, if you feel like you're guilty of this healthy habit that a lot of people have, and which the health industry has been feeding off of us all these years, a great video that I would like for you to check out is this video right here. This talks a lot about identity shifting, and maybe if you kind of revisit your identity, and that could definitely transform how you perceive things, and the good habits will follow. So that wraps up our video. If this video resonated, it's probably because none of these habits are obvious. They're normal. They're praised, and that's why it's keeping a lot of women stuck. Real change doesn't come from doing more. It comes from creating safety in your body and true alignment in your life. So I hope this video challenged a lot of your existing beliefs and hopefully steer you in the right direction in terms of habits that actually help you become healthier. Thank you so much for watching. I appreciate you, and I hope to see you on my next video. Bye.